they use informal introduction in a different way. Like, oh good, so many students coming just now. We're just gonna repeat everything. Like, you need self-introduction in conversation classes like our class, at a job interview, at a new job, or at a large convention. And, you know, maybe when you become third-year students or fourth-year students, you're going to start to, you know, have large gatherings, and you're going to introduce yourself to everybody. Okay. In this situation, there's formal introduction and informal introduction. Okay. When you come in, we start with the greetings, like even in Iraq. When you come in, you say, you know, Assalamu alaikum, or Masa al khair, or Sabah al khair. In the West, you start with greetings. There are varying ways, different ways of basic self-introductions. And the very first thing you need to start with is greetings. You can have formal greetings, like hello, you know, this is formal ones, like how I started this morning with all of you. Good morning, everyone. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, that's it after 12 o'clock. Good evening. And good night. Good night is a send-off. Let's concentrate on the good evening and the good night. Good evening is when I come in and say good evening. Good night is when I go out. It's a send-off when I end the meeting with you. Good night. Like many people in Iraq make that mistake. They say good night as soon as they start. No, you say the good night at the end. Of course. Let's go. Let's talk about the informal. Before this, we talked about the formal. Let me see this. This is the formal introduction. The informal, which all of you do it, I'm so sure, all of you know it. You know, some people might say, hey, I think this is in the US. What's up? I always say to you, what's up? What's up? What's new? I always say to my friends, to my sisters, I say, what's new? What's up? Anything new? I always use it. In the UK, they say hi. I always use hi with my friends. Sometimes I use it with other teachers, like hi, what do we have for today? Hiya is very British. Hiya, they always use it in the UK. Hiya. You know, some accents, they say hiya. Anyway. Oh, you might say, what's good? What's good? Hi there, what's good? What's going on with you? They use this. Okay. This is the informal greetings. You don't use this in a job interview. Believe me, don't do it. Okay. If somebody asks you about your name, what's your name? There are many ways of saying your name. And the answer is, my name is Nadia. I'm Nadia. My full name is Nadia Ouda Sultan. My first name is Nadia. My last name is Sultan. We don't do it in Iraq. Like, we use the first name and second name. But in the West, they do. They have a last name. Let's say, like how we all have you know, a tribal name. That's the last name in the West. Or you might say, this is Nadia. Like I'm talking to you, like, this is Nadia. Hi there, how are you? This is Nadia. Okay. Number 3, that's slide number 7. Location or country. How do you talk about your country or your location? Somebody might ask you, where are you from? Where do you come from? Where were you born? Your answer might say, it'd be like, I'm from Iraq. I hail from Iraq. I come from Iraq. My hometown is Basra. I'm originally from, like when I was in the West, I say, I'm originally from Iraq, but now I live in the UK, let's say. Like I'm originally from Baghdad, but now I live in Basra. My nationality is like the nationally objective, like صفة. My nationality is, I'm an Iraqi. I was born in Iraq. I'm Iraqi. All of those are good. That's the nationality objective. Slide number 8. What's your address? The question might be, where do you live? what's your address? If I ask any of you, where do you live? You say, I live in, and you say the city or the place, or, you know, let's say your address in Basra. I said it before. If I say I live in, let's say, Jam'iyat, you say it, I live in Jam'iyat. Because Jam'iyat or Ma'qal, or let's say Zubair, or let's say Al-Mdayna, Tannuma. You say it that way because that's the name. I live in Tannuma. Because that's how you're going to write it in English, by the way. It's a name, you don't change it. Okay. I live on, you know, such and such street. I live at, and you say the street name. Or you might say, I spent most of my life in, and you say the place. Like, I spent most of my life in Basra. I have lived in Basra for 20 years. I have lived in Basra since, you know, and you say the time. I grew up in Basra. That's how you talk about your location or your address. If somebody asks you about your job position or your company, you say, I work at, look at the at. I work at Basra University in the translation department. I work at Basra University in the translation department. I work at Basra University for the translation department. Don't say in. Never say, you can't say, I work in Basra University. Use in when you specify, like, I work in translation. You can also say, I am a translation student, or I am a student of translation at the College of Arts. Like, for example, say, I'm a manager at a restaurant. And you can replace at with for. Let's say, for example, I work for Basra University. I work for, and you say the address of the place you work in. Okay, now, if you want to give general information about yourself, general, like, for example, me, if somebody asks me, you know, somebody, let's say, somebody new, I don't know, I'll just say, I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher, or I'm a lecturer, or I'm a translator. And you can say, I work in sales. If you want to give more specific information, you would say, I work as an accountant. I work as a deputy manager. Like, even if in the exam, maybe I'll ask you, give me specific information. All of you say, I'm a student. I have specific information. Number 5, slide number 11. If you want to talk about your qualifications, God willing, when you graduate, all of you are going to say, I'm a graduate. I'm a postgraduate. I'm a translation studies graduate. I'm a translation studies postgraduate. Postgraduate هي الدراسات العليا. Inshallah, God willing, all of you, you know, if you want. Okay. I'm a translation studies postgraduate. Or all of you, of course, I have a BA in translation studies. I have a BA in translation. This is when you talk about your qualifications, Shahada Matik, qualifications. You can say something more informal, like, I'm a translation studies postgrad. Look at the postgrad. Okay. Number 6, age. This is not common nowadays, and I've said it before. In the West, they never ask about the age in a job interview. Rarely. Only if the job depends on your age. But generally, in job interviews, they never ask you about your age. Like they do in Iraq, I don't know why, and it's very wrong. Because, you know, in the West, they concentrate on your qualifications. They concentrate on your experience. They never ask you about your age. But, you know, if somebody asks you, you say, they might ask you, how old are you? You might say, I'm 20 years old. I'm 20. If you say I'm 20, they'll understand it. I'm over 20. I'm almost 30. I'm nearly 30. Or you might tell the person in front of you, I'm around your age. Like if two students will talk to each other, somebody would say, I'm your age. I'm around your age. I'm in my early 20s. I'm in my late 30s. Okay, number 3, family, slide 13. Somebody might ask you about your family, and they'll say, how many people are there in your family? Who do you live with? Or with whom do you live with? Do you have any siblings? Siblings is brothers and sisters, is another meaning for brothers and sisters. Do you have any siblings? You say there are 4 people in my family. They are, and you say who they are. Like I have 5 people in my family. They are my brother, my sister, things like this. And you discuss them. You discuss their names to the person in front of you. You might say, there are 6 of us in my family. There are 6 of us in my family. Okay. If somebody asks you your date of birth, when is your birthday? And you say, my birthday is on the 11th of November. My birthday is on the 12th of January, for example. Never say the year. They don't need the year. Anyway, now let's see how, like we've discussed the previous slides, we've talked about how you introduce yourself in a job interview in a formal way and informally. Let's see how I introduce myself to you after all of this. Okay, we'll use sentences. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nadia. I'm from Basra. I work as a teacher. I'm a translation studies graduate. My hobby is of reading, like I'm talking about it. If we make these sentences, we mix them together, we decrease them. We're going to shorten them and we're going to make them smaller, and it's going to be like this. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nadia. I'm a translation graduate from Basra. I now work as a translation teacher and I love reading. See how I decreased everything. I shortened it. This is just a practice. Of course, if it's a job interview, you're going to be asked more questions. We're going to be discussing them in other lectures. But this is just the introduction to you so that you can, start to understand it. Okay. Janan Azim. Okay, just do this. Just do this. Speak generally to me. Introduce yourself to me. General situation. No, this is our first lecture, Jannat. I think this is our first lecture. Just introduce yourself to me. Tell me about your age, your name, where do you live in Basra? What do you want to do in the future? I want to know this. Like most of you, tell me what do you want to do after you graduate. Tell me how many brothers and sisters you have. It's okay. I just want you to introduce yourself to me. By the way, introduce yourself to me formally. Formally. I don't want you to tell me hi, hiya, what's up. Introduce yourself to me formally in your homework. I can't tell you to leave the meeting. No, you have to stay until 10. It's up to you. If you leave before that, 11, of course. If you leave before that, it's going to show to me in the, Okay, any questions? I'm here until 11. اوكي. على فكرة آرام، هسه لين أول محاضرة. Next lecture, I might ask you to talk, on the Google Meet. You have to make conversation with each other. The problem is because, because of the situation, the corona thing, we have to do this. But you can do it now if you want. If somebody else wants to open the mic and introduce themselves to me, let the others learn from them. It's okay, good. Open your mic and introduce yourself to your colleagues. It's okay. But I'm so sure because this is the first lecture, all of them, trying to get a grip on things. Okay, slide 1 and 2. Okay, Zainab, I'm just going to read it to you. Slide 1 and 2, where are they? Okay, slide is just the title of the lecture. Okay, number 2, how to introduce yourself in English, self-introduction. Introducing yourself is much more than saying your name. You need to tell someone more information about yourself in English. And I hope, believe me, students, I hope we only speak English in this class. Because speaking English is the only way you're going to understand, good conversation, be good at it. Many students worry about being asked to introduce themselves. You will, of course, need to introduce yourself during, job interviews after you graduate. I hope, I'm sure all of you, after you graduate, you're going to be asked to introduce yourselves. What do you say when you meet someone new? Introducing yourself, oh, by the way, introducing yourself is much more than just saying your name. You can't go into a job interview and say, hi, my name is Nadia. I can't do this. Like, you have to be more formal, more respectable. And believe me, even the way you pose yourself, even the way you sit in a job interview is important. You need to tell someone more information about yourself in English. Introducing yourself to strangers can be very delicate because what you say depends on the context, situation. Introduce yourself in a job interview, introduce yourself in an email, or give self-introduction in a class, like a class. So let's see this. You may need to introduce yourself in a conversation class, at a job interview, at a new job after you get the job interview, at a large event or convention. These are very important, believe me. And how can I say it? Most of you have this problem, most Iraqis. Girls and boys, all of them. Okay, any question? Maybe next lecture I'm gonna ask each of you to introduce themselves to me in the class. It's gonna be good that way. And this is good because there's no camera. I can hear your voice and introduce yourself to me. This is gonna be our next lecture, of course. And as I told you, it's recording to me each student when they came in and when they're gonna leave. So I know who heard the lecture, all of it.
Good morning, Miss. Can you hear me?
I know most of you are shy, but no, don't need to be shy. Believe me, never be shy. You see, like I've been through this. Like if you're shy, what's the point? You're not gonna get the marks. All of you girls, what's the point of being shy when this is your homework and you're not gonna get the marks? and you might be shy from somebody in your class, and he's just as the same level as you. No need to be shy. And always think, I need this to pass. This is my homework to pass, to become a graduate of translation. So what's the point of being shy if you're not gonna pass? Like, all of you the same level. I'm so sure, you know, don't be shy, just do it. And I'm the only one who's gonna hear it. I'm your teacher. Like, it's not like the whole of Iraq is gonna hear it, or the whole of the department. Always put this in front of me. This is what I need to pass. I have to do it. Okay, why don't you open the mic? اللي يتكلموا ليش ما تفتحون المايك حتى اسمعكم؟ لأن مسوي كل شيء اوكي. I think problem من عندكم لأن هاي المايكس قدامي انتوا غالطينها.
Hello, Miss. Can you hear me now? Miss Nadia, do you hear me?
اي لا جنات ما جاي اسمع. ليش؟ ما اعرف. لان انا شو اسمه فاتحه المايك، بس انتوا تطلعون عندي شو اسمه المايك مغلق. I don't know what's the problem. Tell me, maybe it's my problem. Tell me, I don't know. Okay, maybe next lecture we'll see what the problem is. And next lecture we'll see. I don't know because no, this is weird.